Tested.
I'm Will from Tested.
I'm Norm from Tested.
Norm, today we are taking a quick look at the
Nook tablet.
Nook tablet.
It looks just like this, the Nook Color.
It's gray. It's gray.
The
It's silver
lighter
instead of dark
gray.
gray.
Yeah, this is like a gunmetal dark gray. Now it's just a lighter one. Otherwise, exactly the same size. Weight, maybe a little heavier.
Probably a better screen. I think the old one's a little bit heavier. This one has a better processor. It's a dual core, 1 gigahertz OMAP. Doesn't matter.
Right.
It's
It's supposed to replace the Color, but also be a direct competitor to this.
That's the Kindle Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just initial impressions. Well, first off, this has more storage.
Yep.
16 gigs versus 8 gigs. There's a micro SD card slot buried underneath the back bezel here somewhere. I haven't popped that off yet to verify, but the internet says it's there. Just in general, performance seems much better on this than the Kindle Fire.
Then on the Fire, really.
Yeah.
Even though they're very similar specs.
Very similar specs. This just feels more responsive. This is, they've been through this whole process with the Nook Color. It started out real chunky and bad. They improved the software. We're seeing benefits of that here.
They're both running heavily modified versions of Android.
Exactly.
Now on the Nook tablet, while you don't get much Android front-facing stuff, it's still, you can tell it's Android. I mean, from the home screen, the wallpaper.
Well, it has the wallpaper stuff. Yeah. The pager thing at the top of the screen is there.
Let's demonstrate all the basic functionality. So, e-reading.
Yeah,
e-book reading.
If you'd like to read a book,
yes,
I have some books here that I've downloaded.
Why don't you read?
I'm going to read the sample of this book. Loads reasonably quickly. It's a little bit faster than the Kindle Fire, which was kind of a slow load. Page turning's good. You tap on the right side, it goes forward. You tap on the left, it goes back. You tap in the middle, the menus pop up. It works more or less the same as the Nook Simple Touch, which I thought was not bad, but not great.
All right. So ebook reading, fine.
Yeah. One thing I did note about this that you can adjust. You can get the brightness all the way down to late night levels.
Is what you want.
Lower than the Kindle Fire, which was one of my big complaints with the Kindle Fire, and a lot of other LCD-based e-book readers. I'm going to turn the brightness back up. It doesn't have any of the fancy stuff, the X-ray stuff that's in the new Kindle software. It's fine, you don't need that. Buying books has improved some over last year's debacle that I had with the Nook Color, Nook Simple Touch, where I got some books stuck in limbo and couldn't actually get it without calling someone on the phone.
It'll still sync across all your Nook devices. If
Still
you have
syncs across.
multiple ones.
It syncs your place just like the Kindle does. If you use an iPhone app, that works as well. So all that stuff works exactly as you'd expect.
Okay. Perfectly serviceable as an ebook reader.
Yeah.
What about magazines, other types of media?
Magazines are the same as any other thing. I find that this size screen doesn't really work that well for magazines.
No, it doesn't, especially this aspect ratio.
Here's a copy of Fit Pregnancy that we bought when the Nook Color was new.
Wow.
It's still, look, there's a pregnant lady's belly. It doesn't fill the screen up right. You can zoom in and all that.
Right.
It's not great.
And then you can also turn it to the side.
Yeah, you can go sideways. That's not great either. Then everything's too small to read and you end up tapping. And
exactly.
But at least pinch to zoom and all that is performing reasonably well now. The Nook also has a deal with Marvel Comics. The Kindle Fire has a deal with DC. There's no special app for this.
No, it's not Comixology. It's not the Marvel app. Each graphic novel is just its own separate book.
Well, it's not for monthlies. The apps are for monthlies, it seems like. These are just showing up in the bookstore like a normal book would at Barnes & Noble. And it's a pretty good experience.
I liked it.
Yeah, it's not bad. This
it doesn't have the panel by panel zoom in.
Which is something that's in the Comixology apps, as well as I think the Kindle version as well. So yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's a okay way to read comics. I like, when I'm reading comic stuff, I like to buy trades rather than monthly issues because it saves a lot of money.
Right.
And again, like,
the pricing is okay. It's like $9, $10 a trade. And also, I think the screen is fine for reading comics.
I think it's great.
6:9. It's high enough resolution, density, pixel density to pick out all the panels.
You do lose a little bit of the stuff that you get, like on the iPad or something like that, a more expensive device with the 4:3 screen. You do actually get to blow up the panels full size,
a little better, especially for double page full spreads.
Yeah, and you still have the thing where when you have a double page full spread, it still teaches us 2 single pages, which I find a little bit weird, but it's okay. And you can get trades there, which is something you can't get elsewhere. Of course, it's Marvel only. DC is on Kindle.
That's fine.
There are a couple of other things that you can do. There's a Netflix app.
Okay.
You can access it in a bunch of different places.
You can access your content, all of your content, in a bunch of different places.
Yeah, I actually find that a little weird.
Yeah. So let's look at it right now.
This is the home screen.
Home screen. You have the home screen shortcuts, which are theoretically books that you own.
No, you drag those up. You manually do those, and you can it'll snap them in place eventually or something.
All right, so you have a book that you drag up, and then you have your most recent.
Yeah, this is the most recently accessed stuff.
And then
if I hit the Nook menu,
you have, and then there's a separate books button.
Yeah, if I hit the books button,
and it pops up for books that you bought.
A weird pop-up.
And then if you hit the physical home button, you go to your library, and then you can see the books there, which is a different presentation.
Or magazines, all the other stuff is there too. It's really, really confusing.
Yeah.
Performance is good in the home screen, but like I literally had to spend a fair amount of time like figuring out how to use this.
Yeah, I think it should just be this library with all your books. And then if you want in home screen to reorganize or combine your apps and then your shortcuts.
The other thing that they do kind of poorly is it's sometimes hard to find where to go to buy something, which for a device that is solely about selling stuff
you think they want to funnel you to their store.
Yeah, whatever.
But you actually have to go hit the pop-up menu and then hit shop.
The thing to learn is that home screen isn't really the home screen. The home screen is what pops up when you hit the Nook button, which is this little menu down here. And from here you can get to apps as well. So we're going to go to apps now.
Okay.
Let's
set Netflix?
I set up Netflix. Something to note, it uses your login and password. It doesn't require the authentication token, so it doesn't count as one of your 5 devices, which is really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to flip it over sideways.
It's actually a pretty good Netflix interface.
Yeah, I thought it was quite good. I watched some Futurama last night. The new stuff, of course, is on there. Video quality is good. I had no hitches, no performance issues. I did notice the speaker is notably bad, even compared to the Kindle Fire.
Same speaker design as the Nook Color, where the speaker is in the back, facing away from you.
Right. So that means when you're sitting here holding it, listening to dialogue, you hold it, you put your hand over the speaker. 1, 2, it's pushing the sound the other way. So what you end up hearing is background noise.
It's muffled.
Pitter-patter of feet. It's hard to pick up voices. This is a device you want to use with headphones only. Yeah.
Okay. But watching a video on Netflix, scrubbing, moving, as long as you're on decent Wi-Fi, it's not going to hitch. Software isn't a problem.
Yeah, I was really pleasantly surprised because the previous Nook had problems with video rerouted and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I'm not going to wait until it loads, but it works.
How about the other apps? I mean, it's not Amazon's App Store. It's not the Android market.
It's a third-rate app store.
Okay.
I installed Doodle Jump. It works reasonably well. It's a game. This is, I think, the first legitimate game I bought for iOS, but I can't remember 100%. And literally,
you have the accelerometer controls.
Yeah, it works
pretty smooth. You got the very basics, and you just died. That's the lowest possible Doodle Jump score you can have.
Yeah,
period.
Dying
from the first platform.
I don't want to say who I emulated in doing that, but I feel like my entry on that list is not going to be good after this. Okay, so that's Doodle Jump. Bejeweled and other stuff is there. There are some other high-profile apps.
No Plants vs. Zombies?
No, very limited on the PopCap stuff. It seems like it's all from before that Amazon exclusive deal.
Hooray, you get Angry
home
Birds.
Screen. Seems like we've locked up. There we go. I'm going to go back over here to apps. This is another one of those weird pop-ups. I don't know what this does, but you can tap My Library in the top right corner. It goes where you want to go.
All right. So navigation, it's not slow. It's just not well designed.
Yeah. The other stuff, the email client and all that, not particularly good. I wouldn't actually use the email client built into this. Yeah. If you want to use this device, the Kindle Fire seems like they went to some lengths to make the email client pretty good. If you want to sideload something real on here, whether it's Gmail or some other mail client.
And you can because you have the microSD card.
You can. It's a little bit easier. I haven't actually sideloaded anything yet. We'll talk about that in the full review. But yeah, I tried to install the Amazon App Store to see if I could put
Now, there is no cloud locker service for music.
No cloud locker service for music.
But there is a music app, and because there's more capacity in here, 16 gigs as opposed to 8 gigs.
You can copy MP3s over.
Okay.
It's like 2,000 all over again. I didn't do that. I don't think people are going to actually use this device for that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's Pandora. Will Pandora run in the background?
You can run Pandora in the background, I believe.
That's good.
Let's see how that works.
And authenticating.
I haven't signed up for an account, and I don't think it's on Wi-Fi back here because we were having Wi-Fi problems today. So I'm going to back out. Last thing we want to talk about is web browsing. It does. I was pleasantly surprised by this web browser.
Now, getting to the web browser again, it's hitting the home button.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut I could find on the home screen.
The home button is the home screen. Nothing. Don't use this thing.
Launch the web browser.
Going back into the web browser. There's some usability issues in that it doesn't give you good feedback when you've successfully clicked on links and stuff like that.
You're misspelling Google.
No, I didn't. It worked out.
You missed an O and it still went to it.
Okay,
I'm
gonna look for Turkey.
Okay.
T-U-R-K.
Oh, the old one finger.
Y. I know. I feel
like an old lady.
I'm on the wrong side of the thing to do this. I'm gonna click on some links.
Okay.
I may have clicked a link there. No. May not have. See, this is so. Then I did click it.
And it's the green bar on top.
And the green bar on top is the only thing that lets you know that something's happening.
Yeah, we've definitely been on web pages where if you click links, we can't tell if any page is loading, period.
Sometimes they highlight,
Yep.
sometimes not so much. It could be entirely on the website of the problem,
Yeah.
but the browser on touch devices has to account for that kind of bad web design.
But directly compared with the Kindle Fire, the web browsing experience is still
Infinitely better. It
better,
works.
infinitely better from being not usable to being somewhat usable.
I would say you could probably actually use the browser on this device.
I did go check out Reddit and it was fine.
The other thing is, with all these Android tablets, you should be able to sideload whatever apps you want on that don't require low-level system services. So, like, you're not going to put the Google Marketplace on either of these, but you can probably put the Amazon Market on the Nook Color or Nook tablet.
Oh, okay.
And I was able to get the Nook app on the Kindle Fire. So, like, there's no reason your libraries can't be portable between these devices if you want to buy on one device or the other. This is it. This is the Nook tablet.
It's
I think
$50 more expensive than the Fire.
Yeah, I think that's
$50.
okay, an okay price to pay. I mean, they're a significantly smaller business. They're not subsidizing the price of this as much because they have, well, a lot of people bought the Nook Color and then rooted it and used it as a real Android
Which you'll
tablet.
probably be able to do with the tablet.
If I were going to buy one of these, I would probably buy this one just because it has the home button. If I'm buying a device just to root and put my own version of Linux on, or Android on at some point in the future, this is, I think, the one.
And if you're already invested in the Nook ecosystem, the Barnes & Noble ecosystem,
Yeah, it's not a bad device.
then you don't feel like you're getting ripped off. You don't feel like, oh crap, Amazon came out with a much better device.
Right.
They did. You're still gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't think anybody feels like that. Anyway, this is. I was pleasantly surprised by this. I think it's a big improvement over the Nook Color. I think it's the best LCD-based e-book reader I've used so far. Still not great. I think I'd still rather have a good e-ink one than the LCD. But if you want a kind of all multi-purpose e-book reader device, this isn't a bad place to be.
Awesome.
Yeah. So $250 is out now. For Tested, I'm Will.
I'm Norm.
See you guys next time. Bye.